Hey everybody, it's MarVeena, and I wanted to welcome you to my Angel Q&A. So if you all have questions that you would like to ask for your angels, be sure and post them in the comment section below, and I will see whatever sort of answers that I can get for you. I'm also doing a presentation today on the Archangel Ariel. So if you have any questions that you might like to ask about her, then you can post those as well. And if you haven't been on one of my angel lives before, it's always nice to light a candle. And that is just a great way of sending out a signal to the universe that we align ourselves with the light. And it helps to establish a high vibration in your room. And anytime that you have a really nice high vibration, that makes it easier for your own angels to be able to come in and to bring you encouragement and inspiration. And that's what our guardian angels are really good about, is helping us to kind of keep a good perspective and maybe feed some different ideas and encouragement to help us kind of move forward and stay really focused on our soul's highest path, plan, and purpose. So hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Brandy. Donetta, thanks for stopping by. Iretta, Brandy, Judy. Hey, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Sometimes it's hard to see those posts over there. Be sure and let me know where you're in from, like what city do you live in. I like to kind of keep track about how far away the Facebook lives go. So if you believe in angels, or even if you don't believe in angels, I feel like everybody has their own team of angels that come in with us from the time that we're born, and they stay with us throughout our whole entire soul journey. And their whole job is to kind of keep us in line with what our soul's path is has designed for us, like the high points. There's a lot of flexibility that's built into our soul journey, but we always come in with quite a few pieces of business that we really want to make certain that we witness, or that we focus on while we're here in a physical body. And keep an eye out for orbs too, because a lot of times in my Facebook lives there, we have like little orbs and fairy lights and angel lights that just twinkle around. And I think that's always, that always makes me happy. And I really feel like everybody that is connecting onto the video here, that we're creating like a circle of light. And by osmosis, I think that we can empower one another and encourage one another just by keeping our vibrations high and holding a space for all of us to have the best possible soul adventure while we're here focused in the physical body. If you have friends that you think might benefit from a connection with the angels today, then be sure and hit that share button and just share it out into your feed, or to a special person that you feel like might really need to have something to kind of uplift them and help them to move forward on their soul journey here. I always feel like when we take steps to elevate somebody else's consciousness, or to help them move forward, that it's a blessing to them, but it also is a blessing to us that will come back to us in the most unexpected ways. So we are going to go over some information about the Archangel Ariel. So if you have questions for her, you can post those as well. And sometimes the feed goes by, because I have two streams of feeds here. So they go by kind of fast sometimes. So you might post your question again like in 10 or 15 minutes. I'll be on till 2 o'clock. And so just every so often check back, and so I can see if I can get to your question. So the Archangel Ariel is, in my opinion, a very feminine energy of the Holy Spirit, and she is known as the Lioness of God. And there are many, many different things that Ariel can help us with. One of the ways that I have benefited from a connection to her is because you all know me, that I'm a huge animal lover. And actually that is how I first got into got interested in the angelic world, is because I had a near-death experience with a horse, because I am still a cowgirl at heart. And I had a horse that reared up and flipped over on top of me. And he got really agitated at a rodeo and just, had enough. And so when at the impact, I had just a mini kind of a near-death experience. And while I was out of body, I saw angels. And so that's one of the ways that I actually got interested in the angelic kingdom. And I do have to tell you all that when, just for the very short time that I was out of body, it was so comforting, and such a I don't know, it was a very it was a known place. Like, I knew where I was. I felt comfortable. I immediately understood what was going on, that I was on my death journey, and I wasn't scared at all. And but they didn't let me finish. And I have to tell you that even though I had a good life and still have a great life, that I would have stayed if they would have let me. However, they didn't let me because I guess they considered it was not my time. And so my angels, they didn't give me a choice. They just said, all right, you got to go back. And so just in the snap of a finger, I was like right back in the body. And when and I had like a really bad broken leg and ribs, and I was really busted up. But the minute that I got out of the body, there was no pain at all. So for those of you that are ever like fearful about the death moment, I have to tell you, from my experience anyhow, it was not scary at all. It was not hard at all. It was not painful at all. However, when you get back in the body, you felt the total amount of the pain. But it was amazing to me because the angels were right there with us. And that's one of their jobs, is to help us kind of stay here as long as we need to stay here. Thank you all for the hearts. I love that. It raises my vibrations, I think, whenever I see the hearts twinkle by. That they help us to stay encouraged, because it's quite challenging to get a physical body viable to a certain age, and in order that we can really use this immersion in the physical and get the most benefit from our journey, because we have to operate from that place of faith and trust. And so we don't really know for sure what to expect on the other side. We don't understand some of the relationships that we have, and why some dynamics are better than others, and why some relationships are really challenging, and what those karmic pieces of business behind them are. But our angels do know, and they are aware, and they are always challenging us to see how we are stepping up to the plate and engaging with our challenges. And that's one of the things that the Archangel Ariel can help us with, is to be courageous. because that is one of her attributes. And we have an Ariel on here. So I think that's so cool. So she helps us to kind of dig deep into our inner resources and just have faith that we can meet our obstacles and we can overcome whatever is thrown our way. So for those of you that are going through some hard times right now or some scary situations, then just call upon the Archangel Ariel and just ask her to help you to be brave, to rise up to the occasion, and to move forward in spite of whatever obstacles are thrown your way. And I feel like whenever we make the first move to engage, that we just make up our mind that we're going to show up, that is, it's kind of like it gives our angels permissions to shore us up. And they do that with encouragement, with energy, with ideas that we can use to strategize whatever is going on. So, but we're the ones that have to make the first move, and we have to just make up our mind that we're going to move forward in spite of being scared to death or being worried that we're going to die or worried that something really bad is going to happen. That you can definitely call upon the Archangel Ariel to help give you courage that you can persevere through whatever obstacles are on, because she has that heart of the lion. And so that is a really awesome, courageous energy that we can gather that from her to move forward. She is also really good about banishing ugly energy or even negative entities from your space. So if you feel like you've got like a dark cloud hanging over you, or you just have something that's keeping you from being able to experience good things in life or good luck, then ask the Archangel Ariel to help you transform whatever it is, whatever the situation is. And the thing is that we always have to participate. Like, we can't just say, okay, help me out, and then it's done, because we're the ones that have to ground this situation into this dimension. And that means taking action. And usually that means making some adjustments in our lifestyle, in our thought processes, in how we're living and doing what we do. We have to make some adjustments. We may have to make some adjustments in our household if we've got ugly spirits in our house. One thing that you can do is just clean your house, like spick and span, get rid of any clutter, anything that is blocking the flow of life force energy. Give it away, sell it, throw it away. If you don't use it and love it, then get it out of your space, because clutter is something that weighs down the energy of your house, and then that in turn, it kind of affects you. And if there are negative energies around or entities, then I think it enhances their ability to be a problem rather than enhances your ability to overcome it. So that is one simple little trick that you can use to help shift the energy in your house when you feel like, there's something icky or that you're having bad luck. So, hi, Brandy. Thanks for coming around today. Another thing that the Archangel Ariel is really good about is working with nature and the nature spirits. And I know especially we have one Ariel on here, and it is, I know that you are a nature girl, that you love animals especially. And she can help us to connect to the animal world And especially when you feel like that they might need some help, or that a wild animal's been injured and they need a little bit of human intervention. If you call upon the Archangel Ariel and ask her to help you connect to the divas on the land, and different bodies of land will have different divas that kind of overlight that area, and they just help. They help the animal kingdom, and to be able to set it up so that it's fit for the human race to be there. Sorry, my UPS man came by. So you can ask the Archangel Ariel to help you connect to the divas on the land, and then ask the divas to work with that animal, and to let that animal know that you are there for their best and highest good, and that you mean them no harm, and that they'll calm down, that you can help them maybe untangle themselves, or give them some medicine, or get them out of whatever situation that they're in. I have used this so many different times with my horses, because we have a lot of thoroughbred horses, and they're very feisty and hot-natured, and sometimes they just get really big and rambunctious. And whenever we need to give them medicine, or we need to work with them or do something with them every once in a while, then it just helps us, or it helps me, because usually, I'm out there by myself when one of them gets injured and I have to handle it. So that's what I do, is I call the Archangel Ariel and ask for a connection to the divas, and just in your mind, just send out the thoughts. Ask the divas to help you comfort the animal, and just let that animal know that you're not going to hurt them, that you just want to give them some medicine so they feel better, or do whatever it is that you need to do. I have used that very technique so many times, it's not even funny. That it's kind of like one of my go-to prayers, and it's helpful like when you have a sick animal or injured, or that you have to I had to take the shoes off of a racehorse that was really, she was right off the track, so she was really high from training and didn't want to cooperate. And so I was able to call the Archangel Ariel to help me work with her and work with the divas to help her calm down, so that we could actually work with her. And that was the first time that I'd ever used that method. And that's been like 20 years ago. And it's been one of my kind of go-to angelics whenever I need to work with animals. But I can't tell you how useful it is. And but she definitely helps us to work within nature laws and universal laws regarding the animal world, the animal kingdom. And if you are interested in kind of helping ecology and take care of Mother Earth, and do things that can heal the earth and the animal world, then just ask Ariel to kind of give you some ideas that are within your scope of viability and energy. And she'll give you some ideas. And the way she does it is she just kind of floats them very gently across your mind. And you're like, oh yeah, I can do that. That's something that I can do. It might be something like recycling your plastic, or cutting it up so that it doesn't hurt animals if it ever did get into the water systems. But she will give you ideas that are attainable by you if you ask. that is another good thing to bring up, is that we always want to make sure that when we want help from the angelics that we ask, because we have free will and they are governed by the laws of grace, that they can't trespass on our free will. So unless it's something that if they see that we're about to die, then they can step in and make adjustments and whatever's going on to kind of save you so that you don't cross over before your time. But otherwise, it's good to ask. So when you feel out of sorts or you have something going on, then just send out a request to your angels, or in this case, if you're working with animals, then you can ask your own angels and the Archangel Ariel to kind of give you some ideas. So protecting nature is her priority, and we're very interdependent on the ecosystem here. So it definitely is in our highest good to maintain and learn how to create and do our part to protect Mother Earth and the ecosystem and all of the little creatures that are in it. And she can help us do that. She is a really good teacher in helping you to learn to manifest. So keep that in mind. If you've got things that you would like to create, because she works with the earth, she's good at helping us to ground our ideas in the earth. So bring them into manifestation. So that is definitely a something that she is very, very good at. And another thing that she is helpful for, especially, is with moon cycles and just aligning yourself with the different cycles of the moon, because there's opportunities for different pieces of business at different moon stages. So when we get used to working with the moon cycles, it helps us to be in a better flow for our health, to sustain our physical, mental, emotional bodies better, and to manifest and create better on all levels. So she can help you to make that connection. You know, for the longest time, I didn't realize how interconnected the angelic kingdom is with things like astrology and the moon cycles and the animal world, but it really is amazing that it's all interconnected. And the angelic kingdom, they are in charge of everything here on this earth. They keep things going. And I like to think of us as kind of like God's a big science experiment. And but the angels have charge over the humans and the animal world, the mineral world, the plant world, everything that's going on planet Earth and in the universe. The angels have some sort of a domain over that. And by understanding them better, we can better position ourselves. And by the way, I do have a free angel ebook. It's called Angel Connections, and it's my ebook. You can sign up for it for free right here on this page. So be sure and do that, because there's a lot of great ways of working with the angelics and using them for different things. One of them is protection, but others are meditation, healing, and manifestation. So it's awesome. So be sure and check that out. It's a great free resource. So I do have some questions that I wanted to get to. Cecilia Gonzalez, she's asking, ask my angels about my healing. So Cecilia, what they're wanting to communicate to you is that it's important to make adjustments in your lifestyle and just think about balance and balancing out the different systems And I do feel like it's important to do some purification things so that you can purify the toxins and maybe metals out of your the different organs in the body that they're kind of like crying for help. And so they need an avenue to detox and to clear out. And so you want to meditate about that. So one of the great things about the angels is that it's not just me that has answers for you. Your own angels have your soul journeys, highest and best good in mind. So if I don't get to answer your question today, don't give up and think that your angels are ignoring you, because that is not the case. The important thing for you to do is to create the mindset to be open to receiving information however it comes. If it comes through this Facebook Live, that's fine, but they can stream ideas to you directly and indirectly. So that if you keep your mind open and your heart open and your eyes open, you'll be amazed at how they can bring some ideas to you. And it's not like they're just going to smack you over the head and say, girlfriend, you got to get your stuff together and do this, that, and the other. Well, what they do is they just gently float little ideas across your mind, but you are the one that has to take action. You are the physical grounding aspect of the equation. And because it's your soul journey, you have to make the physical adjustments. So think about adjusting different things in your life. It might be the things that are bringing you stress that aren't really important, but they bring huge stress into your life. Stress is very detrimental on a physical level, emotional, and mental. So meditation is a great way to alleviate stress. And it's a great tool to use, not just for nourishing your body, but for getting some insight as to what's truly the most important ways for me to go forward in my journey here. Your angels will help you to dial in on the things that are really valuable and really important. I have some meditations in my Angel Connection ebook. There are some meditation ideas in there, but don't make it harder than it is. There are so many different ways to meditate that, but you have to follow one and just to make adjustments in your lifestyle, but maybe in your thought processes as well. Like, what are you dwelling on? What sorts of old pain tapes are you reliving that are keeping you like in the past? And that sabotages your future because you're not really living in the now. So you want to be very mindful about that and take some measures to make adjustments. Sabrina writes, am I on the right path when it comes to my son? So Sabrina, when I connect to your angels on that regard, I feel like they really want you to kind of get the idea that your son has his own angelic guidance team, and it's their job to oversee his journey and to help him witness the things that are important for him to witness and participate in the different events that his blueprint has planned. And they just want you to kind of get a little bit of peace about it, that it's not all on you to make life awesome for him or perfect or better or good, that he has some his own team that help him to do what he came here to do. And you did have a contract that you would be his mom and help to organize a way for him to come in and have this physical experience. But 75% of your contract you already filled up just by giving birth to him. So take a little bit of burden off of yourself. And I just feel like it's important to kind of not feel like it's all about you, because there are other factors in mind that can help him to move forward on what his soul came here to do. That's the idea that I get. Cindy Jingles Jonigan wants to know if there's any messages from the spirit world. Cindy, I feel like your dad is just wanting to connect to you. And I just saw like a bass boat and a big fish. And so I don't know if he was a guy that liked to fish, but I do feel like he's getting some fishing in on the other side of the veil. And that makes me feel like he's it's a R&R time, a time to rest and to kind of go over the soul journey here and synthesize the whole experience. So I don't know if John is connected to your family, but I see John. I feel a name like that. And then Rose. So you'll have to let me know if what that might mean to you. But I do feel like your father is, he's just showing me hands like this. And it puts me in mind of that song, Daddy's Hands. I can't remember who sang that song, but it's a country western song that I love. But I heard that song, but I just feel like he just wants to send his love to you. He's very tickled to be able to get through. He said that there's a lot of spirits that are wanting to connect to their families in some way here. So, but he's happy, and he said to tell you that he's very proud of you. LaShawn writes, she wants to know if her son is around. So LaShawn, I feel like your angels are there, and I do feel like your son in the spirit world is trying to get in. And I was seeing an image. I'm trying to make it out because I'm seeing it in that light up there. So, but it kind of looks like a lion, maybe a suit that you would wear for trick-or-treating, like a little lion outfit. So you'll have to send me an email or a message and let me know about that. But it made me feel like a Leo, either a name like Leo or Leon, or someone that was born under the sign of Leo. So, but Rick or Ricky is, that spirit is around, giving you a big hug. I see chocolates. I don't know if you have the sweet tooth or if he had the sweet tooth, but I see a box of chocolates. And I feel like he was quite a bit of a clown. So he just seems like a very good-natured spirit, and that he's having fun with you. He said you worry too much, and he just hopes that you can be at peace with the knowledge that he is okay on the other side of the veil. He still has life opportunities and adventures. They're just not focused in a physical body. And he doesn't want you to feel like it's all over for him, because he says it's not. He says it's just started in a whole different paradigm, and he wants you to be happy. I also feel like there's an R name like Robert or something similar to that that's around. So thank you everybody for the hearts. I love to see those. All right, so Joan Kavanaugh wants to know the Powerball numbers. So Joan, there's a lot of people that would like to know the Powerball numbers. But when I connect to your angels, they just say that that there's sometimes that when people win, sometimes it's karmic and sometimes it's dharmic. And those are pretty different, because if it's karmic, then you might win a lot of money, but it won't be the blessing that you might think it is. If it's dharmic, then it would be, and that would be something that you might have attained on the other side in other lifetimes that you had kind of accumulated enough like soul credibility to have that kind of a dharmic journey. But they do say that it's important to buy the ticket. They can't manifest a ticket for you. So you have to take the physical action. And I do feel like it's important to make some mindset adjustments to help you kind of get into a better sense of self-deservement and worthiness in this journey here. And also understanding that you have gifts that are not tapped into yet. Like you have more gold that is hidden in your own energy matrix that you haven't tapped into yet. So as you're able to, and you do that through meditation and facing your fears and facing your ideas of illusions, of limitations. That's how you unlock more of your own, I think of them as graces, but they could be pieces of business, ways of understanding life, things that we can use in this lifetime to help us create and to manifest much better. But the key word is deservement, self-deservement. So you want to do some backtracking in your mind about where image makers like your parents or teachers or family members or someone might have squelched or limited your own sense of self-worth and self-deservement in this lifetime. And you have to call back your power and call back your soul pieces so that you're not living in that mindset. And I see a dog that puts me in mind of like a German Shepherd. I just feel like there's some dogs around. So they might be with family members, but like on the other side of the veil. But I do see a big dog that appears to be in your matrix whenever I connect with you. So let me get myself a drink here. So definitely they want you to work on some of your shadow pieces. So our shadow pieces are things from the past that are unhealed, that we haven't been able to forgive ourselves, or maybe forgive other people that might have caused those situations, or hurt us, or wounded us, or let us down, or disappointed us in any way. So we all have to work our personal pieces here in this lifetime, and we're very limited at how we can move forward if we're not willing to work through our personal pieces and do our forgiveness work and reclaim our power and reclaim our soul pieces. So I feel like they really want to drive that home for you to help you out. All right. Lisa Mullins writes, how can the angels help me get rid of guilt and sadness? Yes, your angels can definitely help you to get rid of guilt and sadness. And it kind of goes along with some of the things that we were talking about before. They say that you need to forgive yourself. And sometimes we just have to be gentle with maybe our scope of understanding, or how we were limited at that phase in our life where we put something into motion that we feel guilty about. We have to forgive ourselves, and we have to take responsibility and ask whoever it is that we let down, or whoever that we hurt, to forgive us and do our best to be responsible. But I was wondering if there is a baby on the other side of the veil. I was just feeling like there's I don't know if it's yours or if it's somebody close to you, but I was feeling like there is a baby on the other side. But your own angels can help you to work through those different pieces of business, but you have to spend the time with them, and it doesn't have to be, you know, all of that hard. You just find yourself a quiet place in the house. You can light a candle, burn some incense if you want to, ask your angels to sit with you and to help you to connect to whatever it is that that you need to get a different perspective on. So when I do soul clearing work, that's one of the that's a couple of the different clearings that I do that are really helpful. And one of them is guilt and guilt residue, clearing that piece of business, and then perspective lens clearing. So all of those are done through the angelic realm. They're very, very, very helpful. So Janice Sykes wants to know, or she writes, I had a dream that I was in the ocean and someone told me to watch out for the lions. So, so Janice, that's an interesting dream. So your ocean is all about the immersion of the divine feminine, activating the feminine codes, and that is a receptive part of yourself. And sometimes whenever you're in that very feminine, receptive place, it creates like a vulnerability. And I feel like that your angels are just talking about the lions as maybe people in your life that might throw ugly energy your way, or negative energy, maybe not necessarily that they're intending to be mean-spirited to you, or they might be, but I just feel like it's the idea of protecting yourself. And there's many, many different ways that you can do that. One of them I do go over, well, there's two of them that I talk about in my angel ebook. And one of them is with the Archangel Mary and her blue cloak of protection. And another one is with the Archangel Michael and his cloak of protection. So you access that through intention, through desire for protection, and making that request, but also through visualization. And I know you're a very creative woman, and I feel like your husband on the other side is wanting to give you a hello, and he is so proud of you. And he says that he didn't deserve you. He said you were too good for him, that you have really been a blessing while he was here, but also a blessing after he was gone, because you do so much to keep his memory alive and his art, and that really makes he feels very blessed to have had you in his life. And I feel like your mother is wanting to connect as well. So just know that those spirits love you very much, and they're excited to get to be here today. So Tiny Joy is, she writes that she is living in a van and wants to know if there's any hope of her circumstances changing. So yes, your angels want you to know there is hope of your circumstances changing. And but there's, you know, several pieces of business to address for you. And visualization we just talked about, but visualizing yourself feeling safe, feeling protected in a nice warm environment, a cozy home. Send those visualizations out to the universe. And when the universe sends you back ideas about how you can make it happen, then you are the one that has to say yes. And you have to be willing to take action and maybe make adjustments in the way you do what you do and when you do it. So you have to change up your lifestyle a little bit here and there, make little tweaks and adjustments until you have recreated a place for yourself. And you also, your angels want you to face your fears of the unknown, and fears of being uncomfortable about asking for help and for ways. They are very creative. And you know, a good thing about our angels is that they know everybody else's angels. So they can make connections for you, and they can help to position you in the right place at the right time to communicate to another person here on earth that their angel has led them to that place that might have a way for you to get out of this situation and to move forward in your life. And be mindful of the opportunities now, and make sure that you really digest the experience now so that you don't have to do it again. So be present for this perspective because it's unique, and I feel like it's important for you right now. But just keep creating the intention with your own angel crew to help you move forward and to recreate a place for yourself, and then be willing to take action when they give you a little encouragement, or they give you ideas, or give you some ways that you can make adjustments. Hi, Carol. You're welcome. Thanks for coming on today. So Judy writes, I'm checking in to see if my husband is around and whether he's with Trixie, or if there's any other messages from my angels. So Judy, I feel like your husband and your Trixie are hanging around today. They're just wanting to make sure you know that they come and visit very regularly, and that you're very, very loved from the other side, and not to ever forget that. So I don't know if it's I just see like a Coke, like a bottle of Coke. So I don't know, that's what I saw, like the lid pop off of a can or a bottle of Coke. So that's what I saw, and I feel a military connection of a man that's coming in that was in the military that's wanting to be recognized as well. So know that you've got a lot of love from the other side of the veil. All right, so Diana wrote, my husband is having my husband has a dark force around him, and it feels very evil. I don't know what to do. So Diana, it's a very serious situation when you have that kind of dark energy that lingers long enough that it changes somebody's their whole life and their whole disposition and their personality. So definitely take it serious, and be asking that your angels connect to his, and to create strong layers of white light and love around him. You want to do whatever you can to raise the vibrations in the house, to keep your vibrations as high as you can. And I know it's really challenging when you're scared to death that your husband is going down a dark road. But it's important because that's one of the biggest things your angels want you to know, is how to operate within a paradox. And that is, it may seem like, why would I look at it that way when it's this way? But we have to hold a vision for what you desire for him. But also keep it in mind that he has his own soul path and contract and his own blueprint. And just, if he's not finished with his dance with the darkness, then it's hard for you to overcome that or go against it. So, but I would just imagine a lot of love, light around him, and light, love. Those are different qualities, but it's like they're similar, but they're different, but they're high vibrational. They're from a source, the Holy Spirit, and ask his angels to be present and to maybe bring you some ideas that you can use to help back out this negative energy. That's what I do in the soul clearing work. It's part of what I do in there. But you really want to be diligent and mindful about it, and think about raising the vibrations in your house, doing what you can to raise your vibrations around him and help him to raise his, because if he can get his frequency up to a certain a high level, then the negative energy can't it can't stay there, because there's nothing to hold on to it. But take it serious, because if it's a dark lord or an evil entity, and it feels very dark to me, then they can cause like things like suicide, and so you just really need to take it very seriously and ask the angels to help you do what needs to be done to shift the energy in here for him. So Veronica writes, how do I align with the elements? So Veronica, I'm glad you asked that, because it's very much a part of what Archangel Ariel can help you with, is to align yourself with nature. And so the elements of earth, air, fire, and water. And we are the spirit part of that equation. Like we are spirit who has immersed into the physical through the elements of earth, air, fire, and water. And we always want to seek the balance of those. So think balance. And for the most part, people that are of the air energy, they're very creative, but they might be a little bit spacey and have a hard time grounding their ideas. If that's the case with you, then you want to find some ways to bring more earth energy into your life. So you could have different stones, can be very grounding. And Misty on here, she has a lot of beautiful crystals and minerals, and ways that you can go check on her page. I thought I saw her here a while ago, but look for Misty. And but she has some great ideas for working with the stones and the minerals for grounding your dreams, your goals, yourself. We can't make much of an influence in this world if we're not grounded. So if you're having a hard time getting inspired or getting motivated, then you want to bring more of the fire element into your life. There's always more ways than one to get something done, but one way that you can do is you can light some candles, like while you're watching TV at night, sit by the fire pit every weekend, and just let yourself kind of enjoy those fire elements. You can also wear colors that are very fiery in nature, like red, oranges, yellows, golds. Those are very aligned with the fire element. If you don't feel like you can wear them like to work, you can always wear underwear that have those kind of colors, and that helps to support a different energy. If you want to work with the like your psychic ability, you're developing your intuition to higher levels, work with the water element. So there's many different ways that you can do that. I have a water garden in my backyard. Actually, I have a couple of them. And just anytime that you're working in those gardens, or even just drinking a cup of tea by them, it helps you to use that element of water to tap into your own intuition and to tweak it and nourish that aspect of yourself even better. So that is a good question. Thank you for asking that. But yeah, there's always more ways than one to do things. And so you just have to find what works for you, and just ask your own angels to help you kind of discern which element is am I out of balance with, and and then you go towards that. Just ask them to give you some ideas about how can I bring that aspect or that element into my matrix on a regular level so that it can nourish me. And so always be tweaking and adjusting, because there's times when you need more fire, then there might be other times where you need to tone it down and go in a different direction. So Mary writes, since I started working with the angels, I noticed that it's easier to dismiss negativity. Yes, Mary. So, you know, that's a great perspective, because it's true that as you're working with the angelics and you're making an effort to keep your vibrations high, your frequency high, you have not all the time, but for the most part, you have the ability to see things for what they are. And so, like whenever somebody pulls out in front of you, it's you can kind of not get rocked from your zone as easily. And I still do. I mean, we're all human. So we all kind of, every so often, it's like things happen and we get triggered and we have a little reaction, and then we get embarrassed and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that or said that, and then we have to raise our vibrations back up, but it is easier. So I'm glad that you are making progress and that it's working really well for you. So thank you for sharing. So Jolie Elaine writes, I'm still looking for direction on moving to another state. Hi, Lisa. Hey. Hi, Ramon. Haven't seen you in a long time. Hey, we're going to Houston this weekend, so maybe we'll see you there. Jolie, what I was getting from your angels is that it's kind of whenever you are wanting to put yourself out in a different direction, that if there's nothing coming back to you on that regard, like if an avenue hasn't opened up for like a job change or a place to live, or that just happens and that it flows and it just feels very natural. It's kind of the universe's way of saying now is not the time. So just be, when you do your meditations with your angels, just ask them to kind of give you some insight about what pieces of business are important to get here where you are, and really be mindful about that and take that in and give it its due diligence so that you feel like you have soaked up what's here, and that you're clear about why you're wanting to move. I really feel like our own angels can help us to navigate our entire soul journey so that we're where we need to be when we need to be there. And it's important that I feel like your life will be a lot easier, honestly, if you just make up your mind every morning, today I intend to be in the sweet spot of my soul journey, wherever that is. If you create that intention, it helps to give them the permissions necessary to kind of nudge you here and there where you need to be. So in other words, if you are headed to the airport to go on vacation and all of a sudden your car stalls and you're on the side of the highway and your plane leaves in 30 minutes and you miss your plane and you're mad, don't be mad because for some reason it wasn't meant for you to make that plane might be going down, or just the timing. They might have wanted you on a later plane to meet somebody or to avoid another disaster, but your own angels can position you to be where you need to be. You have to trust that. Just align yourself with your soul's highest path, plan, and purpose, and things will go much better for your ego personality. And sometimes it's hard for me to accept that, because you know, my ego has its own ideas about what it wants. But I tell you what, my life goes so much nicer and easier when I do my best to stay in alignment with my higher self. So that is my idea on that piece of business. So okay, so Brandy writes, how can my angel heal me? Brandy, your angels, they can't heal you. What they can do is inspire you to activate your original soul's blueprint for your physical body and the different organs in your body. So they can help you to reactivate that. But you're the one that has to actually do the work. And you do that through mindfulness, meditations, sitting with your angels on a regular basis, and making strategic adjustments in your lifestyle, clean life, clean thoughts, clean food. That's what's going to help you to turn the energy around in your body. So think balance in the organs, balancing out the different organs, and purifying them if different organs in the body have absorbed a whole lot of yucky stuff and bad energy or poison or toxic substances. They have to clear out. It has to be purified. So there's different ways, a lot of different ways that you can do it, but you have to take action so that that you can get a different result in your body. So it's doable, but they can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, because you're the active part. And but they will give you the courage. Ask Archangel Ariel for the courage. And but thank you all for coming today. That's all the time I've got today. But please be mindful that if I didn't get to answer your questions today, to trust that your own angels are there for you, and they will be very glad to sit with you today and to inspire you and help you to get some answers about the things that are on your mind or worrying you or bothering you. And they'll help you to change things up. And they are there for you. And so don't ever feel like it's the only way it could happen is if somebody else answers it. So I think that's an important thing. And be sure and share this video. If you want to do something nice for me, just hit that little share button and share it to your friends or people that you feel like could use a message from the angels. And if you haven't already, be sure and sign up for my angel ebook. There's just a lot of good information in there about the angelic world and how you can connect to your own team and position yourself to move forward in life in a beauty way. So thank you all for hopping on today. Bye. Y'all take care.